Hello everyone, and let's review the first two races of 2023 Formula 1 season. I will be giving pluses and minuses of each team accordingly to first two races. So let's begin with our reigning Formula 1 World Champions, Red Bull. Pluses of Red Bull. First, unmatched pace in both races. Excellent on tire degradation. Even though there was an effect of traffic and DRS terrains in Jeddah, Perez was more than 1 second per lap faster than Ferraris. And this car even looks stronger than last year's car. And finally, their qualifying performance looks better than last year, as they were losing qualifiers to Ferraris last year. Well, for a minus, only thing I can say is a potential teammate war between Checo and Verstappen. But never forget, Max has a huge qualifying domination over Checo with 38 versus 8 head-to-head. And Max is an excellent driver at starting from top 2 or 3 and leading the whole race without being caught to DRS. And Perez is not consistent at every single track of Formula 1 schedule. He is better in street tracks, but Max races at his best in every single track. So let's continue with Ferrari, last year's runners-up. Their straight line speed looks excellent. This car has pace. They will grab pole positions again, especially for the tracks with limited overtaking opportunities like Monaco. They might challenge for the win. We still could not watch a complete Leclerc performance, who start from pole or high grid positions and finish the race in podium, etc. In first race he had reliability issues and DNF'd in a race that he can finish P3, and in Jeddah, because of the problems, he had to take a grid penalty and start the race from P12. Ferrari still looks very strong on qualifying, and Leclerc is the best driver on the grid for one lap. Unless they suffer so many reliability issues, this combination may enable them second spot as a constructor. And people underestimate Carlos Sainz so much. Yes, I agree he is not a high risk taker, best overtaker on the grid or qualifier, but he is very consistent. And now let's continue with minuses of Ferrari. I think their qualifying and race pace deficit is even more than last year. In both qualifyings of 2023, like last year, they looked like a potential pole sitter. But in races, they could not match the race pace of even Aston Martin or Mercedes. Leclerc's pace was even closer to Alpine of Ocon. It was claimed that Jeddah is a track which fits them best, but still they do not have the race pace to compete with Red Bulls, even Aston Martins and Mercedes. They seem to have huge problems with tire degradation. Strategy looked as bad as last year. Leclerc's rage on his race engineer for not telling him Hamilton's safety car pit proved it. Well, another topic, management changed. Key staff changes create instability for the teams, and they have changed lots of people, especially team principal. And there can be a driver problem too, driver relationship problem, because Sainz started the season with 20 to 6 points advantage to Leclerc. As they cannot win races, nor they are able to grab podiums right now, their 1-2 driver balance might be a problem again. So let's continue with Aston Martin. Fernando Alonso looks like he can beat anyone as long as he has that car. He still has that competitive edge who beat Michael Schumacher and Kimi Raikkonen when he was younger. Alonso's race pace was the third best after high-flying Red Bulls. At last laps of the race, Russell and him had a hot lap race, and Alonso clearly opened the gap with Russell, while Russell was pushing like a monster. Alonso was even faster than Red Bulls in last laps as he was pushing more. Their qualifying pace looks excellent too. They might grab some surprise pole positions this year, like Stroll's Turkey pole in 2020. Overall, this beautiful looking British racing green car looks even stronger than the pink Mercedes of 2020. And let's continue with Mercedes. In my opinion, you may not agree, they have the strongest driver duo on the grid. Simply, statistically, the greatest driver ever, and a young driver who matches his times, qualifying results and race results. They look at similar level in terms of race pace with Ferrari and Aston Martin. Their reliability looks like the best among top 4 teams. Both Ferrari, Aston Martin and Red Bull had reliability issues in first 2 races. And minuses of Mercedes, they don't look like as strong as the last parts of 2022 season. George Russell even won the race. Unless Red Bulls have DNFs or even Ferraris or even Aston Martins, they don't look like a potential race winner right now. So let's continue with Alpine. They look like the best of the rest. They don't seem to have any rival right now. Top 4 looks much more better than them, and they look stronger than the other teams. And the minus for Alpine, well, Pierre Gasly and Esteban Ocon look very evenly matched drivers, and they have a long-time rivalry between each other from the past. Ocon is known to be an aggressive driver against his teammates, and Gasly would probably try to look better among these two rival French drivers. Considering they also have very strong young drivers like Victor Martins or Jack Doohan from Formula 2, or even Theo Pourchaire can be, since he's French also, it can be a problem for this duo, and both Ocon and Gasly will try to take advantage over each other. And let's continue with Haas. They have two very experienced drivers. Magnussen looked strong last year and collected 1 point in Jeddah in 2023. To be honest, I wasn't expecting Nico Hülkenberg to be competitive after missing 3 seasons of a full-time seat, but he surprised me and looked very strong in both qualifications and races. Well, to continue with minuses of Haas, considering their 2020 and 2021 seasons, I can't say anything negative about their current status, since they slided from the worst team of the grid to a low and midfield level team. And let's continue with Alfa Romeo. Similar things I said for Haas exist for them in terms of car performance, since both use Ferrari engines and have similar car performances. And only one minus I can say about Alfa Romeo. Maybe it was my mistake, but I couldn't understand what happened to Valtteri Bottas in Jeddah. He pitted 3 times and was the slowest in terms of race pace. And now let's continue with Williams. They look better than preseason tests. Albon already got his first point in Bahrain. Their race pace in Bahrain was close to Alfa Romeo and Haas. Alex Albon is a very good driver to grab points whenever frontrunners suffer from something or have reliability issues. And Sargent's adapted much more quicker than I expected. And 2 minuses for them: brake problem for Albon in Jeddah, its reliability. And whenever they will make it to Q2 in qualis, it's a good accomplishment for them. I will be surprised. And let's continue with McLaren. Yes, they have a very good driver duo. Both drivers are very young. Lando Norris is already a respected driver on the grid with experience, and Oscar Piastri is one of the best young prospects for the future. Maybe upgrades will climb them up a bit, but I am not expecting anything extraordinary with that upgrades. Norris' race pace was not bad in Bahrain too. So let's continue with minuses of McLaren. They are potential Q1 team right now for qualis. Getting worse every single year. Went from 3rd team in 2020 to 5th team, racing with Alpine. Now it seems like they will be fighting with Haas, Alfa Romeo and Williams. And they also have reliability issues. And finally, AlphaTauri. Well, Tsunoda fought for points in Jeddah, and his race pace was similar to Haas, Alfa Romeo and Williams drivers. And minuses, I regard Nick de Vries as a very talented driver, since I watched his championship season in Formula E, and he's a former Formula 2 champion. But he could not adapt to Formula 1 in his first 2 races. We will see what future brings for him. If everything goes like that or similar, they will potentially finish the season at the last place. So thank you for watching this video. If you like this content, please like and subscribe. And I would be very happy if you share your thoughts about first 2 races of this season and your predictions for the future from the comments section. Thank you all. See you next time.